Good morning. Welcome to Sunrise Extra Shot. I'm Julia along with Carlos, Julia, and Kelly here this morning. We are back with our Extra Shot. We're all in a good mood because it is Friday. Yes. We're in a good mood because NFL football is back after last night's game. And we're all repping the Colts, who will play on Sunday.
Against the Houston Texans, W. It's going to be a win. And we're going to, I don't know, I'm of the mind that when you're watching football, it needs to be like cold and like rain, because if it's a sunny day, you want to go out and be in the sunny day.
I was gonna say the reason why is probably because your wife is probably like, let's do something.
Let's do something, like,
outside,
but
and
honey,
then you can be like, but
the game is on, you know, and so
let's go to the Penrod Arts
Festival. So the bamboo shoots.
Yeah.
So because of the Colts, not because of Penrod, because Penrod's awesome, but still. So here's the thing. We're going to have a chance of rain on Sunday.
Yes.
And it's a better chance on Sunday
on Sunday than on Saturday.
Okay.
Of course, we have a lot of college football going on this weekend as well on Saturday, which they could see a couple of showers here and there, possibly a delay with some lightning. But right now, temperatures are in those mid-50s. It's 61 degrees in Indianapolis, and today we're on our way to 84 with winds out of the southeast. It will be a beautiful day. We'll drop down into the low to mid-60s tomorrow morning just because we're going to see some more clouds moving in. So we'll back up future track here about 7 p.m. tonight. Clouds will start to drift in, and then we have a potential of a spotty shower Saturday morning with more isolated showers developing just with the heat of the day tomorrow afternoon. Not everyone will see rain, but you want to make sure you have the live Doppler 13 radar app with you tomorrow. And as we have a couple of festivals going on tomorrow, the French Market going on tomorrow afternoon to 10 p.m. tomorrow night. Again, a shower possible with those temperatures climbing into the low 80s tomorrow afternoon. Then tomorrow night, as we go into the overnight, we're going to see quiet time and then back to more of the heating of the day on Sunday. Some showers possible during the morning. It does become more likely by the afternoon. Taking a wider look here, we will see some showers and perhaps a thunderstorm or two. Kind of wet on Sunday until late day on Sunday, and maybe even a couple of showers left over on Monday as well. But we could see around a quarter of an inch, perhaps a half an inch of rain by the time it's all said and done. We'll see a high of 84 today, low 80s Saturday with some isolated showers around, more numerous on Sunday, 77, and then feeling more like fall as we go into next week. Cloudier, breezy, highs in the low 70s. But we're back into the 80s, though, by the middle of next week.
All right, there we go. You're dipping down, getting a taste of fall, but then back up into summer. Hey, take a close look at this. A couple going viral for their engagement pictures, but the photo shoot wasn't just about Andrew and Anne Marie's love for each other. It also showed their love of their home state of Wisconsin. So, you know, they had their traditional button-down and flowery dresses and things like that, but then they had to go and do this and do the staples of the sweaters from Quick Trip and Culver's. I knew Culver's was a Wisconsin thing. I didn't know Quick Trip
I didn't either.
was a Wisconsin thing. But apparently that's where they had their first date. I see the Culver's thing, but the Quick Trip, maybe they stopped to get gas before the date. I don't know, whatever. But hey, but by the way, you gotta love a guy to have this confidence, because he overachieved in that relationship, in my opinion. But he took her to Culver's on the first date. Like, he was like, you know what? We're going to Culver's, you know, to heck with Olive Garden or someplace a little classier. You went Culver's, which is great. I totally.
I need the backstory. I wonder if this was just like, oh wow, that ended up being our first date. Like,
like maybe they didn't. Maybe
just like, I want to take you out, baby, and they pulled up to, and then they pulled up to Culver's.
Little Barry White,
or that ended up being.
And I know you're like,
that would have been the first and last. I do like Culver's,
I do too, but not for first.
So you're saying Culver's at her first date doesn't get a second date?
No, I mean, that burger would have to be real.
Okay, so I'll tell you this. My first date with my husband was Wendy's.
See, and that's what I'm saying. Are you just saying like that ended up being?
No, but there's a story. And you say you need the story. So because we were actually, we were a blind date. We were set up. And we were going to come. He went to Rose Holman. I went to ISU, so we were in Terre Haute. And we were going to go to Indianapolis with his roommate. And we were going to go on a double date. And it was going to be our first meeting, but we were both so nervous about our first meeting. He called me and he was like, how about we go get a hamburger and we chat and just so we can get to know each other a little bit before. So that's why it was at
it's like, I think an appropriate first meetup is like coffee or something like that. And so that's honestly about the same, like you'd be spending about the same amount of money, and it's like, but it's something about just drive through there. That's what I think, and I'm like,
no, we did sit down in the restaurant, which probably doesn't even happen anymore.
Like you put the pinkies out. Well, it worked out, so maybe I should stop turning my nose up at fast food first
There
dates.
you go.
Maybe that's what I need to do.
Where's your first date?
At Champs in Castleton, which is no longer there, so I don't know if that's a sign, but no, we had a blind date.
Yeah.
We had two friends that set us up, and we had a blind date, and we watched an IU basketball game, which that made me cool in his book. So that's always, I say, you know that song Breakfast at Tiffany's, where they say the one thing they have in common? That's what we have in common. We have IU, and that was a great way to start it. So it was great. Yeah.
Your first date?
Cheesecake Factory. Cheesecake Factory.
Can't go wrong with there.
My wife would not agree to go to dinner with me. So I said, how about dinner? And she's like, what's dinner? I said, it's not lunch, it's not dinner, it's a safe 2 p.m. So we met at 2 p.m. at the Cheesecake Factory, and it was
Cheesecake Factory has
it worked out.
It was very good.
Right?
It was
yes.
That's what helped
and
you
now,
out.
whenever we joke that whenever we have like an anniversary or like a big occasion, we go to the Cheesecake Factory.
That's good.
There you go.
Yeah, and it's funny that you use the term dinner because that's all I serve on Sundays. If anybody, if we have one meal, they're all like, that's it.
That's dinner.
My mom does the same
It's
thing
not
though,
brunch.
because she's like the kitchen shuts down after a certain time, and we all know like when we come downstairs and Columbo is on, and we're like, oh well, that was it. We missed the last call. We're dinner, and I guess that was
going to bed
Columbo.
hungry. All right, well, let's tell you about this story. A lot of people are talking about this morning, from the world leaders to celebrities. Pretty much everyone offering condolences right now for the long reigning monarch. British singer Harry Styles also took a moment during his concert in New York City to pay respect to the late Queen Elizabeth II, who passed away yesterday, and applause filled the stadium there as that happened. But obviously a lot of talk about someone who was in that position for so long, and I think we heard this morning, probably very unusual that she is someone who met 13 presidents as she was sitting as monarch.
15 prime ministers. The stat that blows me away is that she was the Queen of England for 30% of the time that America has been America.
I heard that this morning,
That
too.
isn't that crazy?
I don't think that there's not very few people that remember a time that she wasn't.
Right.
You know, over even the reigning in power. So I'm like, that's just been.
Well, and you think too, like I'm a big Beatles fan, and Sir Paul McCartney tweeted out something, as did Mick Jagger. But being a big Beatles fan, the Beatles played like Buckingham Palace, for the Queen back in the day, and I always thought that was weird, but then you realize that she was like, one of the Beatlemaniacs as far as she was kind of that age.
25 years old when she was made the Queen.
Right, so she kind of was a Beatles fan. She was probably into that music.
All right, and I'm glad that I watched the Netflix, The Crown.
Yes,
I mean, because that gave us so much history, because I really haven't cared that much about royalty and all that, but I think it's so interesting, her history and all these stats that are coming out. It's just wild that she's been reigning for so long. And now it'll be interesting to see how now King Charles comes in, and then they'll do all of the pomp and circumstance with that. And it is kind of neat.
Yeah, it's been cool. Okay, so we're going to end you on a lighter note. We do have one more story. And this, if you were watching Sunrise starting on Wednesday, we do have an update. We talked about the woman that was attempting to break a world record in wake surfing. So this is Lori Keaton. She actually started at 3 o'clock Wednesday afternoon. She surfed all the way until 5:48 yesterday morning. She was trying to make that 24-hour world record mark. She was a little shy of that. She said she had some unexpected challenges and made it a little tough. It got a little cold out there, as you can imagine, when the sun went down. She got dehydrated. She didn't really have a lot of breaks. Well, she would have, the breaks like maybe 5 or 10 minutes.
A 10-minute every 4 hours. Wow. And they said that was more for the judge that was on board the boat, who you saw there just a few minutes ago. That was more for the judge, not necessarily even for her.
So I can't imagine even having to make bathroom breaks. She did talk about having a kind of a jet pack, not a jet pack, but just a fuel
so
hydration pack on there. She could have Pedialyte and Gatorade and that kind of thing. So the update is she didn't make the 24 hours, the whole 24 hours like she hoped. But silver lining, she did still set a new Guinness World Record for continuous wake surfing. She made it for 14 hours and 48 minutes, which is just wild. That honestly, 2-3 hours to me is like a huge feat. And I'm like, she was able to set a record.
10 minutes is that?
I've done that maybe, I was gonna say maybe 2 minutes.
Right.
I'm off.
I've been very unsuccessful about it. But if you're not familiar with what it is, because you see surfing in Indiana, it's the boat that creates that wake that then because you are not being pulled by the boat, despite what you might think. She is creating every bit of momentum to keep herself up on those waves, just like if you're actually
so
surfing.
hard. And
so
you have
her
to use
body
your
is every bit,
stabilizers,
everything.
hamstrings, glutes, everything.
When she said
engaged.
48 or 28 4 hours, I was like, I have no idea how she's going to do
but
that.
But 14 is like.
So
I'm not.
Still breaks the record.
She was literally out there. She watched the sunset. As she was out there. She probably, if she caught up the live stream, she probably saw us again the next morning when we were like giving the updates on what she was doing. I do think she did have a live stream where people could watch. It was kind of spotty. I checked it out a little bit. Matthew was kind of keeping an eye on it, but I think that's just wild. That,
congrats.
Big congrats to you.
Yeah.
That is huge.
Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Extra Shot. Don't forget to join us on Monday morning on Sunrise because we're going to have a full recap of the Colts win over the Texans.
There you go.
From Houston. We're going to have a live correspondent down there in John Duran. So join us for all your Colts coverage on Monday morning on Sunrise. Have a great weekend. Be safe. We'll see you back here on Monday.